Hey guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com, and we'll do a quick second look gameplay video for Final Fantasy XIV, a subscription-based MMORPG developed and published by Square Enix. I'll spend about 10 to 15 minutes running around checking this game out, make some comments. If you guys want to play Final Fantasy XIV or just learn more about it, do check out the full review on MMOs.com on the link below. So let's go and get started. I have a free company member just kind of chilling behind me. And I've been playing this game for a good 5 months or so, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, which is why we're doing a second look video. One of my random free company members are behind me right now, and we're actually inside near our free company house. It's the game's housing system. So I actually bought this house for my free company with my own guild, and I still have quite a bit of guild left over. You can see on the bottom right over there. You can see all our customization here too, and I'll just give her a /wave. She doesn't know I'm recording, by the way. Anyway, we're going to go show off some of the guild stuff, and I want to talk a bit about the game because I do really like the game's housing system. One of the reasons I kept playing Final Fantasy XIV well after my first look video was because I was very much intrigued with how the housing system actually worked. And once I saw my friend's small house, I was like, holy crap, I want to get a big house for my guild. And I did save up a lot of money for it. I'll put things into context. A house like this is worth, I paid $200 million for this house, and then the decorations and placing the house, it costs like $270 million overall. We got a little bath over here. We can actually get in there if we want. You can sit down here too, but we gotta do a little Lala dance in here. Let's do the /Lala dance. There you go. But it's quite a bit of money in the game, and it's because the locations are limited. And the cool thing about housing too is you can really decorate the homes however you want. All these decorations, the floor plan, what you can put on the walls, all this good stuff is all player placed. So we designed this all ourselves, which is really cool. We got a little library here too, and it's super nice. And I'm sorry, Lenari. She's trying to talk to me, but I'm just kind of running around ignoring her. You can interact with furniture too. And I think it's a really cool system because it is all persistent as well. But we are in a queue to show some actual gameplay. And I do think some of the gameplay elements in FF14 are some of the weaker bits of the game. But I've been having a lot of fun with the game because I think FF14 is a really, really solid MMORPG, and that's mainly because of everything else but the core gameplay. I think it is fair to say that Final Fantasy XIV doesn't really innovate too much in the genre. It really is just a really polished experience. It doesn't deviate from the standard formula. It plays a bit like WoW, Star Wars: Old Republic. The core gameplay elements of combat and whatnot are very similar to other games. It's not action-oriented combat. It is a bit slow-paced. But everything else is just really, really well done. So while we're still in queue, let's teleport to Limsa, one of the more populated areas in the game. So what I mean by polish is just the animations are great. The day and night cycle, in-depth crafting system. They have a great, probably the best cosmetics I've seen in an MMORPG. Just the sheer variety of cosmetics you can collect. I think a lot of people are sticking around for all those cosmetics. And in fact, not just cosmetics, you can actually collect different dances, different emotes, special unlocks based on doing like faction quests and things of that nature, which are very grindy and take a lot of time. But you get rewarded with really cool cosmetics as well as special dances, So it's not just your cosmetics, it's actually your dances, which are awesome. So we're in one of the busier areas of the game. We can see some person doing a little dance in town. A lot of people hanging out over here too. If you didn't know, this is the second most subscribed to game after World of Warcraft. The numbers are, of course, still heavily tilted towards WoW's favor. There's no exact numbers for subscriptions, but estimates put them at 500,000 to 1.5 million. It's a giant range, and I'm not going to try explaining that right now. But for example, this Lalafell, a different lolly race than mine, she's doing a little dance that I don't have access to. So if I want that dance, I have to find out probably what quest she did to get it. Our queue just popped, so we can do some of that in a moment. But again, it is a very busy game. This is where you can kind of use the auction house. It's the game's market board. Let's go ahead and commence. And really where the game's core gameplay stands apart from other MMORPGs though, is the game's class system. I said this in my first look video. You can level up every single class if you want to. I mean, there is so much replay value because of that. And for example, I have a level 15 archer as well, and to be an archer, I equip a bow, and I am now an archer. And every time I use abilities and attack stuff, I'm leveling up as an archer and no longer as a black mage, which is my character. So we were in a queue to do a random dungeon. It is a leveling roulette, basically the game's version of like a bonus quest of the day, your daily mission. You do this quest, you get bonus experience. This is the Stone Vigil. Pretty easy dungeon. I don't like the fact that all the leveling roulettes are super easy. Though if you have a completely dirt party, you might actually wipe, but it's very difficult to wipe on these missions. So we're going to actually put on some gear. I am wearing my cosmetics for my casino. We're going to put on my actual combat gear. So you can see my awesome little Lalafell. We're going to do a /wave. So everything from the animations, I think, and the production value is really great. You know, people run around, you can like, your character keeps eye contact with where they are. It's all really, really well done. But the core gameplay itself is a little boring. It's one of those games that I do have to admit, it's one of those games you have to kind of grit your teeth and get to max level before you start having fun. And that's I'm using the wrong abilities. That is a bit unfortunate, but it's just the way the game is. So we have 3 pulls over here. We're going to use our AoE ability, Fire 2. Anytime there's anytime there's 3 or more enemies, it is efficient to use this. And it does drain my mana. Combat is, I'm playing as a Black Mage. Combat pre-max level is super easy. I don't have all of my Black Mage abilities yet because I've been taking the actual gameplay not too seriously, because you don't have to try hard to actually do it. We still have to use AoEs. So I apologize, my rotation is not perfectly efficient, but it should be pretty decent for this dungeon run. These dungeons take probably 20 or so minutes to complete, these roulette dungeons. We should be using a regular fire now because we are no longer fighting 3 or more enemies. But I'm just mashing my abilities and it's super, super easy. I don't think like the chance of wiping in these dungeons is super low. And it is one of those games I said earlier is you have to kind of grit your teeth to max level before having fun. I did think the first like 20 levels were great. I was actually really impressed and I liked the story a lot. The wonderment of like coming into Uldal, getting the story kind of like delivered to you, learning about the grand companies, and like the story unfolding. It was really well done. It's a Final Fantasy game, so you expect a good story. But it really drops off, I think, at level 30 or so. It gets really boring. I read all the dialogue and all the main story quests, right? I lost interest, really, at a certain point. But all my friends do tell me it does get better. It gets fun again towards the end. Back when you finish A Realm Reborn, the base version of the game, and you start the Heaven Sword content at level 50. I mean, I am past level 50, but I didn't finish all the story content at the end of the base game just yet. I did kind of defeat Ultima Weapon, the main villain of the first game, and it was, I did all that. But there's some content in between the base game and the expansion, and the story apparently really picks up over there. So I'm looking forward to reading all that again. I don't think people play MMORPGs though for the story, unless it's of course like hardcore Final Fantasy fans or people that are really into Star Wars and you have a game like Star Wars: The Old Republic. But beyond the core gameplay, it's a really fun game. It's a game you can spend so much time in because it just does, again, so many things right. The core gameplay is, again, you have to admit the core gameplay is not fantastic, but once you get to the late game, you have more options, and the content does get difficult, obviously. And speak of wiping, apparently we are going to wipe. Was our healer not healing? I don't know, but we're going to die, and there's nothing we can do. Almost all the telegraphs are pretty easy to dodge. I don't even know how that happened. How our tank died, so our healer didn't heal or something? Must have blamed the healer. Alright, everyone's dead. Ain't nothing we can do there. Typically, if your party's wiping this early on in a roulette, it is not a good sign. Typically, it's probably better for me just to leave this lousy party at this point. All right, we do not want to be here at this. We're booking it, boys. This is a bad sign. All right, how we leave this party? I've actually never had to leave a roulette before because it's rarely ever this bad. This'll do. Can we get out from here? Leave duty. Yes, get out of here. We're done. We're out. We're out, boys. There's a penalty for that, of course. You can't re-queue right away. But if your party's wiping on the second pull in the dungeon of these really easy roulettes, you're gonna have a bad time. We're back in town now, and you can do my current main quest, for example, is to do this roulette. I have to do not a roulette, but I have to do a dungeon on hard mode. All the dungeons you see, you can do on you can complete them on more difficult challenges, and it does get a bit more challenging over there. See my really cute character. My favorite part of this game, though, is definitely the really, really cute emotes, no doubt. Let's go back to my my gambler outfit, and you can see some really cute emotes. We can do this. We can do no. There's slash hug, of course. And when you hug somebody, look how cute this looks. We can hug. This guy's totally AFK. He's not going to hug me. Give me the hug. Give me that hug. All right, this person's going to hug me right here. Give me that hug. Hikari. Wow, so rude. Just ran past me without giving me the hug. Alright, we'll find someone to hug me. But I think if you're looking for a standard MMORPG, you're looking for like a premium MMORPG, and you don't mind the fact that you kind of have to get the late game before you really start having fun. I know it's a big pill to swallow. If you can swallow that, I think Final Fantasy XIV is probably one of the... I mean, there are too many other subscription-based MMORPGs, but if you like Final Fantasy and you want a polished, traditional MMORPG experience, I think you'll have a lot of fun in Final Fantasy XIV. It does the crafting right. It does a lot of the social elements right. It's a really polished game. It's got a built-in card game too, which is surprisingly decent. Triple Triad if you play Final Fantasy VIII, it's the same exact game. It's got the multi-classing system done really well. You know, you want to be an archer, you bust out your bow, you right-click on it, boom, you're an archer, and you can start leveling it up. And it did get rid of my clothes because I was wearing black mage clothing. We can wear these goodies and whatnot. And there's so many cosmetics in this game. And the cosmetics are probably my favorite part. It's just so cute. If you want a polished game, I say you give Final Fantasy XIV a try. You know, I'll do a third look when I'm at level 60 and I'm doing some more late game content. Though I've been told the late game content does get fun. It's just that I'm having more fun doing everything else, kind of accumulating gil in the game, running my casino, and just having fun that way. But that's really the beauty of MMORPGs. You know, these are kind of games you can play. There's a lot more going on than just the core gameplay. I think if you're looking for core gameplay, MMORPGs as a genre aren't the best things you can play. You know, games like MOBAs and FPS games get you right into the fun. I think MMORPGs in general, unfortunately, do require a bit more commitment to get to the late game, to experience the world. And I think Final Fantasy XIV does the whole world building pretty well. And the social elements of community, the emotes, the crafting, the multi-classing. There's so much it does right, but its weakest point, I think, is that core gameplay. It does get, of course, challenging. There is savage content. The latest tier content is difficult, and it requires a ton of wipes to figure out. But that's all kind of at the late game. Until you get to late game, you should be face rolling most of the content, which is something I think every MMORPG, unfortunately, has total devolved into. Content always gets face rolled. And there's tons of these minions to collect as well, which are kind of your... She looks really cute, actually. I like her outfit. You can dye everything, of course, too. And it uses a system similar to Blade and Soul where you can actually glamour a gear. So you can, on this hat, for example, I can put like the latest, my actual best gear can actually look like this hat because I can glamour it into it. So you can kind of have your outfit the way you want. But yeah, that's Final Fantasy XIV second look. I'll do another video again when I am max level. It shows me as level 15 right now. We can switch back to my other outfit. I'm only level 56 right now, and I'm still way behind on my story quests. But once I finish all my story quests and I start doing some late game raids, I'll do a third look video, most likely before the Stormblood expansion does come out. But anyway, guys, that's it for FF14. Ultimately, I do recommend the game. I've played it a lot. I've had a lot of fun with it, but you know, go into it knowing that you can have a pretty slow paced early game. But if you can get to the late game, I do think there's a lot here. There's a lot here towards the late game. But anyway, guys, later.